Now let's talk about women investments, and today the topic is investment strategies for housewife. For how well can we train housewives to start their journey of investment? And for all of this, I have Salonee Sanghvi, founder of My Wealth Guide, on the show today. Salonee, good evening and welcome to the show. I believe you encourage women investors to understand what exactly is investment and how can they take the reins of their personal finance in their own hands. So talking about housewives, do you really run some kind of training campaigns for them, or how do you train housewives to start off on this journey of their investment?
Hi, Kavita. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is definitely a topic that's very close to my heart because I believe it's very important for women to be involved and manage money as well. So I think, if we're talking about housewives and, how to kind of get them started on their investment journey, essentially, um, money management, I feel, comes naturally to women. I mean, after all, Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, is a woman. And housewives have been very good at saving and ensuring that family goals are met. In fact, they're the originators of SIPs. Women since ages have been doing SIPs in gold where, you pay 11 installments and the 12th installment is paid for by the jeweler or the store, and you get X amount of gold at the end of it. It's just for women to realize that you can begin investing for any amount as low as rupees 500. In fact, investing just 1,000 rupees a month for 20 years would get you a kitty of almost 10 lakh rupees. So, how exactly do you kind of begin and where do you start this from? I think the first step for homemakers would be to be more involved in family decisions about money and investment. What is the family thought process? How do they decide where to invest, what to invest for, where to spend money, etc. This would help women not only understand what is going on, but also bring clarity to the other members of the family as to what they're
Why do
doing
you
with
think
the
it's not
money.
happening till now? As in, what's the loophole over here? Women are not taking interest on their own, or it's the family that's not encouraging them to participate in these kind of investment decisions?
So I think it's a dual thing. I think women often don't make these decisions because they're not allowed to. They're not involved in these decisions, and also I think there's a lack of confidence that they understand the subject. So they feel that they don't really understand the subject, and this is typically a man's domain, so they don't want to get into it. I feel that is broadly why women often don't kind of take interest and get into these matters.
Personally, if I ask you, where do you think housewife invest, or do they invest, or they just save?
I feel typically, homemade housewives in India invest largely in gold and FDs. In fact, Indian homemakers hold more than 11% of the world's gold. This is more than the US, IMF, Switzerland, and Germany's reserves put together. But a lot of women also just keep it in form of cash at home. We saw this during demonetization where housewives came out with lakhs of savings which they had squirreled over the years, and then surprising even their husbands, in fact.
All right, let's talk about helping housewives understand the importance of investment. What kind of investment instruments are we looking at, and how would you explain it to them?
So I think initially, so there are multiple investment instruments available. One can look at fixed deposits or recurring deposits, which are offered by all banks. There are also various government schemes like PPF, and saving schemes, etc. But I would also recommend that housewives look at, doing SIPs in mutual funds, and specifically maybe an equity or an index mutual fund. Because this is essentially additional saving, right? This is not saving that is going towards daily expenses. So in those terms, housewives can actually take a higher amount of risk with it, and they have a longer duration. So equity will actually protect them from inflation over a longer period of time and give them a good return as well. But the main thing before any of this is to understand the product, where they're investing, and what the risks are. So to just not blindly invest because somebody is saying, but do a little bit of reading, talk to a few friends, family to understand, and then start the process.
The most important part you mentioned in the end, that you must read, you must talk to your friends, maybe you must talk to your family members and understand this entire process of investment. Obviously, one needs to have personal interest, if one wants to achieve this life goal of financial freedom. Talking about SIPs, I want you to elaborate a bit on that, so that housewives, whoever watching our show, or even the men who would want to show this show to them, to their wives, how can one start an SIP, and what should be first few steps? What should be the foundation?
So I think starting an SIP in today's world is very easy. You can just go online, or say if you're looking at an index fund, log in on the AMC website and start register a mandate, start the SIP. It's a very simple process in today's time and age. You don't need to fill out too many forms or do any of that. So first step would be essentially to determine where you want to put the money, what you're doing in SIP. And an SIP is not a product, it's a way. It means that every month you're investing a particular amount. It could be 5,000, it could be 1,000, it could be even 500 rupees towards a particular goal or towards a particular, item that they want in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the basic step as to how you would start the SIP. And then this money automatically gets deducted from the bank account every month on the date that you've chosen. And it automatically gets invested in whatever you have chosen. So, say if it's 5,000 rupees in an index fund, every month 5,000 will keep being invested in that index fund. And when you log in, you can also very easily track how much you've invested, what is the return, what is the value of that investment today, how it has done, etc. as well.
Whatever savings housewives do from their monthly budget, all they have to do is just start an SIP of that amount. Thank you so much, Salonee, for removing time and explaining all of this to our viewers.